Hi there and welcome to another episode of the Avancera Copywriting Academy video podcast. In this session, we'll be looking at a real life piece of content that one of you guys has sent through to us, and we'll be showing you ways in which that content could be improved by editing, tweaking, partly recreating some of that content for the best possible outcome and effect. But before we do that, I just want to mention that if you have any copy that you would like us to give feedback on or edit or perhaps even rewrite for you, we'd be more than happy to do it completely free of charge. All you have to do is send it through to us by email, send it to smile@avancera.co.uk, and you may just get featured on an upcoming episode, and we can share that knowledge with the rest of the world. Now, this particular episode today, we're going to be looking at a piece of content that is an invitation to a social networking event. So that piece of content is, it needs to work quite hard in order to get people to understand the purpose of the event and the benefits of joining, and of course, ultimately getting them to press the button to book their tickets. So let's have a look at how we can work with this text to make all of those things happen. I would suggest something more eye-catching for this header. Something like, what are you doing on the 8th of September? And remember to always spell out the day, date and month in headings or in main copy. The key message is good, but punctuation is a bit off here as well. I'd suggest a colon instead of a comma when introducing the venue. I would also shift the sentence around and introduce the event name before the venue, as the event is what's the most important here. All the bullets here are fine, except for the last one. If you read, you can enjoy an evening of, before it doesn't work. I would skip the visit. I'd also rephrase the header to say something like, this evening features. Always read your copy back to yourself, as if you're reading it for the first time. Listen to the words. Do they make sense? Does it all tie together well? Here, the punctuation is a bit weird, especially the italic bit. It's two sentences blending together. I would pick out the party bit and bring it up to the main text, but I really like the sentence, the best things happen when you're having fun. I would use that as a bit of a catchphrase. I feel like I'm repeating myself here, but again, punctuation. As for the discount stuff, I would separate that in under its own header to make it more eye-catching and appealing. Now, neither of these sentences read very well. The first one should probably be two sentences or be otherwise punctuated between evening and group. Also, any sentence that starts with why not should end with a question mark. And for the last sentence, I believe there's some sort of a brain mashup going on here. I would either mention office or team, not both, and I assume it should read night out. So that's our suggested end product. Notice how there's a narrative flow to this content now, even though it's chopped up by bullet points and short paragraphs. And now to a special part of this program called the naughty step. This is where we look at some shamefully bad copy from companies and people who really should know better. We're going to shine the spotlight on some of those horrendous mistakes that they make so that you can learn from them, but also so that you can see that even some very well established communicators out there still get it very wrong. In this episode, we're going to be looking at some copy from a marketing agency. Using white text on light background was a bit of a poor decision here, especially when you're talking about something like copy, a craft where every word counts. I would have thought readability should be an important aspect here, but hey, I'm open to new ideas. Maybe it's a trick to make me squint so I concentrate more on what I'm reading. Copywriting. Not copywriting, but copywriting. Okay, let's not get too worked up about the header. Copywriting as a term is technically one word rather than two, but is not grammatically incorrect to split it into two words. I just wonder if it affects their SEO. This first paragraph is a bold statement, and yes, they are indeed right. Being topical and frequent and shareable is important. In fact, they feel it's so important, they have repeated it again in paragraph 3. But hey, don't worry about capital letters or anything, or making sense for that matter. Go for it. Do it your own way. Now, look at this little gem of a sentence. Given that any prospective customer is likely to spend only a few seconds on any given page of a website, you want to make the message count. It needs impact. Does this message speak to the reader? Does it have a strong, poignant hook that draws the reader in? No. It talks about everything in generic, bland terms. They're not talking to the prospective customer because they're busy talking to someone else. I don't know about you, but based on this introduction, I wouldn't trust these guys to feed my cat, let alone develop my digital footprint. Content writing is not just about putting words together in a string that fills a page. Content needs to work, it needs to sweat, it needs to bleed out the very essence of your business and connect with the reader. If you would like to learn more, it's probably one of the weakest calls to action anyone can make. They're not really showing their conversion skills here. Using a line like this means they pretty much expect the visitor to be sitting at their screen with their phone in their hand, credit card at the ready, just looking for an opportunity to call and place their order. Oh, and don't worry about punctuation. It's fine. Go ahead, end the paragraph on a comma. Why not? And who needs full stops anyway? Now, these guys seem to have forgotten that good grammar, spelling, sentence structure, readability, compelling content, and proofreading are all key elements of copywriting. And by showing a lack of all of these disciplines in one single page, which just happens to be selling copywriting, is just shy of terrible marketing. It's time to go sit on the naughty step.